welcome to another episode of the Free Midfield Podcast. Now, this is called Not the Top Six. Firstly, I feel like we need an intro for the clubs that are not traditional, and I'm going to say top four because this top six thing. If Newcastle do well with their money, they're going to call it a top seven, and then if West Ham processes to get Europa League, they'll call it a top eight. And we're going to keep going through this cycle, and at some point, it's gonna kill over, and it's annoying. I'm going to get this changed, but we are here. I am Kojo, of course, from Free Midfield Podcast. Without Cahil today, which feels kind of weird, I'm not going to lie. But I'm joined by two superb guests. So I'm going to go first with someone that's been here before we introduce the new kid on the block. So firstly, Lawless, Dan from West Ham Fan TV. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good. Definitely got to try and get a Souček, Ben Rama, Rice combo up in that intro with the Grange Hill music. I love it. It sounds good. But
any intro we do, we'll have Souček and definitely not Tanguy and Ndombele, but that's another discussion for another day.
don't even get me started on Ndombele. I'm not even going to get into it. You lot are fighting me on that.
We're going over, of course, to South London as well, and we are joined for the first time ever by the man that runs Eagle-Eyed Football on YouTube. The links are below to both their channels, so actually, West Ham Fan TV. Dan, Jace, and JMO, the channel as well for Dan. But of course, to my right on the screen, for the first time ever on Free Midfield, is Rich. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, Good evening to you both. Thanks for having me on as well. I've got quite a bit to get off my chest. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
in a both a positive and a negative sort of way with my club at the minute.
Okay, the first thing we actually discuss is your managers, because this is, for example, at West Ham, is David Moyes' second stint at West Ham. But this run is a lot more better than the previous run, and he's doing wonderful things. But we'll start with the newest manager so far, which is Patrick Vieira. I actually want to know about what your thoughts are so far and what he's done, because he came into a club that was going through big changes. He lost a lot of experienced players, Gary Cahill, for example, being one of them. And he's had to make a lot of signings and gel them in. Do you think he's successfully making that become a good squad that can potentially maybe push themselves further than they have before in the past?
He's made something that looks very difficult to do look very easy. We've always been known as a club to kind of just stay up. And for the first time, and this is where my gripe comes in as well, for the first time, we look like we can actually push that top 10. Right. Now, on a realistic level, I would just like for us to stay up again. We've lost a lot of experience, as you said. A lot of young players now. Even though they're good players, there are a lot of young players. And it's difficult because you want the realist, your head saying, yeah, let's just be cool. But your heart saying, right, no, the way we're playing football right now, I'll tell you what, we could really push, So as long as we stay in the division, I'm going to be extremely happy. What he's done, starting from like the academy yesterday, we opened up our new academy setup. We made category 1 as well. So hopefully we can keep the young players from our catchment area at Palace, because they always seem to go off to a Chelsea, a West Ham, and so on and so forth. No, absolutely ecstatic about what Vieira's doing, and long may it continue, as long as the results match the performances.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel like there's an ambition there now? Because you talked about being a team that just wants to, or maybe the fans maybe are satisfied at least with staying up, because maybe the board don't give you enough to feel like he can push. But I feel like Vieira's not the kind of manager that's going to be able to just sort of be like, okay, I'm happy with this, and we will stay up. Do you feel like there's an ambition behind it from all levels now? Do you think the board are looking at saying, you know what, we got to try and push forward and try and get something?
There is. From his first press conference, he said, look, these are my values. I'm not here just to, it's not a stepping stone, even though realistically he could end up getting a bigger job from it, which happens. It's a managerial merry-go-round. But he is invested in this project at this current moment in time. And then obviously the board have kind of like backed that up because we've managed to go and tie up some really, really good talented youngsters for cheap.
Yeah.
Like some of the value in the market that we've managed to pull off is just unreal. Elise, 8 mil. Edward, 14, which could rise. We had Eze the season before, 16 mil. We've bought some really, really good players in. I think he's done a great job so far, and like I said, long may it continue.
Yeah. And speaking of great jobs, now this one is hard for me to admit personally because for a long time, David Moyes came to my club once in a while and absolutely broke my heart when we got spun 3-0 by Man City on our turf, and he proceeded to then say that we aspire to be like Man City. I've never felt such pain before in my life, but he has come back. He's doing so well that from now on, I actually spell his name out properly. It used to be M and then the asterisk. Yes, I didn't know spot Moyes. Now I spell his name because he's got my respect and he's doing wonderful things for what is actually my local club, West Ham. Actually, I don't want to talk about my kind of more local club right now because Dan might not be too happy. But Dan, David Moyes, and you guys so far, how happy are you with your season so far?
Yeah, very happy. And you're probably looking back on those days of losing 3-0 to Man City as the good old days now, really, really and truly.
Yeah.
Be like, gonna have Moyes back. But yeah, like honestly, yeah, I'm really happy. Look, I'm one of the people that didn't want him to come back. I wasn't thrilled with his first time around. When you really look at it, he was trying to just keep us up. I just didn't like how he was going about it, you know, playing defensively at home against teams like Stoke and that. And I was just like, we're going backwards. Why are we going backwards from Pellegrini back to Moyes? And he's proven so many of us wrong. Like, he's really building something. And there's a lot of comparisons to his Everton side and what he's doing, what he did there. And yeah, he's completely turned the team around. I think when he come in, we was like bottom in the league for running stats. Now we're like one of the top. He's got this team working for each other, and just tactically, he's been spot on. You know, the Man City game the other day, I think, you know, he went about it the right way and used the tactics in order to get that game to a point where we could go to penalties and win. So yeah, he surprised a lot of people. And now I'm a big Moyes fan. There's people can see the videos on YouTube of me like so many times just slating him. And I'm sure if we ever won something, someone would throw that back in my face, but bring it on. Like, I'm happy to be wrong. Moyes is doing his thing, you know. So yeah, no, I'm loving it. Moyes he's on point, and his signings as well. The actual signings he's been bringing in have been all been good. He hasn't had any flops yet, you know, the likes of Benrahma, Souček, Soufal, Bowen, you know, Areola is brilliant. Zuma, like every signing he's brought in has been on point. And look at the signings that he wanted that went to Palace. You know, Eze, he wanted Eze, he went to Palace, he thrived, he wanted Edouard gone to Palace, and he's looking good. So even the players he's missed out on, you can see that they're good players. So he's obviously got an eye for talent. He's spending the money the right way. No more £45 million on players that just don't fit the system and don't work. He's turning down players, and that's the point. Before, like managers would just take whatever Sullivan offered them just so they get a player. He's like, no, look, if I can't get a player that fits the system, I don't want it. I don't want the player. So yeah, loving it, man.
And when it comes to ambition as well, you guys are in Europe. You're doing your thing very well. So now I was going to say, actually, the question will be this. I feel like watching the way you guys approach games in Europe, home and away, and the way he's rotating the squad, I feel like there is an ambition to actually go as far as possible. When I say as in compete to try and get to the final. Was that the expectation from you guys in the first place? And do you feel that same way, or do you feel like he's going to prioritize the league more just because after what was a great season last year, maybe he feels he can push on even more? Or is he doing both?
I think he's trying to do both, but I definitely think he's trying to really prioritize that Europa League. And you can see, like, when we've got like teams like, you know, Genk at home or something, and he'll start Antonio or something just to get the job done. Like, he wants us to win the group, so we skip that next round and we go through. So there's definitely the ability to prioritize there, but it's the way we've been able to rotate as well has surprised me. You know, I have to bring this up, Kojo, but we knocked Man United out of the cup with our B team. You know, I think it was pretty much our B team. We made 10 changes. You know, and we obviously, like, it wasn't your first. I'm not saying it was your first team either, but the fact that you on paper you should have a much deeper squad. You do it, when you look at what you've spent and that. But the fact that we was able to rotate so much, get the job done, and then when you look at the team we had against Man City, we made so many changes to our strongest 11, and we're going up against like world-class players like De Bruyne, Sterling, Gundogan, like it's ridiculous. Mahrez, like the players that they have on there, and we're still getting the job done. Like, and that was the big worry: is do we have the depth? Can we rotate and be able to compete on all fronts? And look at it, top of the league in Europa, fourth in the Premier League, and we're now through to the quarterfinals of the Carabao after knocking out Man United and Man City. So we're competing on so many fronts. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So it's looking good, man. It's looking good.
I would be mad, but then you did proceed to knock out Man City. And I was telling my boy, funny story. Remember I was telling you I was going to try and get to that game. And we got tickets. Now, tickets were available. It was very hard because for that game, tickets were getting sold out left, right, center. But we found a duo. And I said to him, bro, I have found 2 tickets. It's £20, £10 each. Let's just buy the ticket and go. He goes, I don't know if I can make it. I'm like, brother, you live in Custom House. Just jump in your car and drive 10 minutes to Stratford. What are you talking about? Just get in the car and go. I'll get on the train now. And he was like, I don't know if I can make it. I'm doing this and that. Man,
He dropped the ball there.
5 minutes later, I refreshed the page and those tickets were gone. I was like, well.
Yes, was a sellout. So
it was a sellout. And it would have been great to see Man City getting knocked out and, me screaming irons, but we moved. 2 players, I'll tweet this out as well. There's 2 players I want to discuss for you guys, and we can bring other players into it, of course. Maybe I'm not getting the praise from me and anybody else, but I want to bring up these 2 players first. And we'll go to South London again. Connor Gallagher. Now, I don't know. I didn't know much about him, if I'm being honest. I didn't really take note of him last season, but obviously he's been brought in on loan again to Palace. Patrick Vieira has been using him very well. How much of an influence has he proven to be for you guys going forward? I actually watched him. I was at West Ham that you guys drew 2-2, I believe, which he was fantastic in as well. So, please tell us. And if there's anybody else I've missed out that's not getting praised, please bring him in as well.
No problem. He's been phenomenal. I guess obviously in the West Brom side last year he seemed quiet in a sense, but then I guess that was kind of like epitomizes West Brom as a whole. Yeah. Now he's joined us. He initiates the press, and you know what? His pressing game is so smart. It's like he knows how to set traps, and then it kind of filters through to the rest of the team, which is amazing. He doesn't do a Bruno press where he just runs. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
You're not
wrong. You're getting it today, Kojo.
I've been getting it since Sunday. At this point, I'm just like.
let me not go into the Bruno slander, because I think he's a massive problem in that positional sense. But anyway, but yeah, he initiates the press. His ability on the ball is phenomenal. He needs to be on set pieces more. I do not know why we're giving it to Luca. Like, Gallagher's got a much better delivery, but he's phenomenal. But honestly, like, the last time we fell in love with Aloni was Reuben Loftus-Cheek, and obviously he didn't come back to us. It's happened again, and it's annoying because I won't be surprised if he just slots into Chelsea's midfield. And I'm just hoping. That's why when they signed Saul Niguez, I was like, Cohen, have a good season. Please have a good season. Please. Yeah. As long as they buy someone, we may be able to get him on maybe another year's loan or something. Like, he's a phenomenal player. Phenomenal player.
Yeah, he was definitely the standout player when we played you guys. Like, Zaha was quiet that game, but Gallagher was causing us all sorts of problems. Like, he really was a handful.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very intelligent footballer. Quickly before I go actually to West Ham, I want to discuss Benteke, because I don't know where this guy's come out of, but he's now starting to do this whole sort of comeback sort of thing. It's maybe 2-3 games. In the last game, if I'm being completely honest, he probably should have had like 4 or 5 goals. But Benteke being Benteke, he's not going to get the back of the net. But do you think this has anything to do with the fact that Edouard, who I like to call the North London bully because he's bullied up Tottenham and Arsenal, do you think his entrance into Palace and scoring so quickly, do you think that's had
Yes. had a massive impact because other than Benteke, who have we had?
Conor Wickham.
So, yeah, Conor Wickham, Ayew. I've got my little one crying in the background. Ayew and Mateta. There's no competition.
Who's that?
Exactly. That's when you know. So Mateta, he's had a few features under Roy Hodgson last year. He scored a back heel against Brighton, and he kicked the corner flag. But since then, he doesn't feature much. We've got a clause that I think if he plays 15 games, we've got to sign him on a permanent. So that's why we don't see him.
I hate them clauses, man. We had that for Zaza, like and then after he took that shot against Man United that went out for a throw, they were like, maybe we shouldn't play him anymore. They're the worst clauses, man, honestly.
Yes, but I think the introduction of Edouard, who's actually a quality centre forward, has definitely given Benteke a kick up the backside. Now, this is what I'm going to also give Vieira a bit of praise. With Wilf being out because he was ill against Arsenal, and then obviously didn't start against Newcastle because of the same reason. To put Edouard on the left, it worked. Like I was like, how's this going to work with Edouard and Benteke? Like, and it really did work. You know, but to be fair, I do want to see Edouard back in centre forward. But I'm happy that Benteke is back in the goals.
You know, I was thinking this the other day, like Arsenal are looking really foolish to me right now because they interviewed Vieira for the job and they interviewed Arteta for the job and they went with Arteta. Now, Vieira actually had managerial experience at the time. Arteta had none. And I just know Arteta went in there and he just regurgitated a load of Pep-isms and things like that and looked more impressive. But Vieira, who's a proper club legend for them, is doing a phenomenal job with having to replace so many players with injuries to key players, and he's playing good football. It's hard to go from like a Hodgson, which I think Hodgson did good in stabilising, but the Hodgson to what Vieira's trying to do. And so I was thinking, to me, I'm looking at it like, do you know what? If he can just focus on keeping them up and maybe like 13th or something this season, and then build long term. But it's how quick he's doing it is really impressive. So I think
it's very impressive. Very impressive. Like I said, just parking the bus for like season after season to now actually having teams come to us, or we're going to them and we're actually imposing ourselves, it's just phenomenal. The other thing I want to say thank you to Arsenal for as well as not signing Vieira, is putting that 20 million price tag on Nketiah. Because we went and got Edouard for 14. Yeah. With add-ons, but for 14, which I'm so happy about. I didn't want to Nketiah anyway, so Arsenal.
I get him for free next season. You never know.
Good point.
As a backup, no, it might not be bad on a free though. But yeah, Edouard. I think the reason why we didn't sign him because our club operates like this sometimes. We played Celtic in the preseason, and he was playing, and he was like anonymous in that game. And I think from there, we were like, maybe not this Edouard. And now you're looking like and think, geez, if we had him with Antonio, man, where we could even go all these games where we're trying not to play Antonio, instead of playing Bo in there, playing Edouard, and that would have just really pushed us over the line. But like fair play to Palace. The same with like Eze. I can't remember what happened, but we ended up getting Ben Rama, which I'm not mad about. But
Thank you.
And that's going to be like a new signing for Palace when he eventually comes back, which I think November he's due back, isn't it?
He's back training now. Vieira's not trying to rush him back, so I don't expect him to feature tomorrow. But I think who we've got next? Is it Wolves or Burnley? One of the two.
It must be Burnley because I think Arsenal got Wolves in it.
Yeah, so it must be Burnley. So I reckon he could see some minutes in that game.
Yeah, well, funny enough, Cahill, Rich, you'll meet him when you do come on again because we will get you on again.
No, pleasure.
Cahill is an Arsenal fan, and for about a year and a half now, he's been screaming, "I want Edouard." He's had enough of Lacazette for a long time.
Wait, why?
Why? Because Cahill is a very realistic Arsenal fan, and when he sees things from a distance, he tells you early that this guy is not going to cut it, and he feels that Lacazette has just not cut it.
But would you not say that? See, I've had this discussion with Arsenal fans as well. And sorry to cut you. But Lacazette's come in the side, back in the side,
Yeah,
and Arsenal have looked better.
they have, but the way is, he said that this has happened before. It's sort of like the whole thing when I can't remember how to do this comparison now. I'm going back to this damn club. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will stink up against many other clubs, and then he'll beat Man City, and it's like, oh, here we go again, and it was back to type. That's what he feels like. But you know, that would be a longer discussion. Let's get to the other guy I want to talk about at West Ham, which is, you know, someone that I had to bring up again because he is an obvious name, but for some reason he's still not respected enough, and that is Declan Rice. Now, I think people obviously the way they want to criticize him now is because West Ham have such a high price tag on him, but they have to obviously understand that is their gem. That is their gem of a midfielder, homegrown, English, and he's wanted by the big boys, and they know how much the big boys can pay, so they're looking for big boy money which is right now their captain, their leader. But just how important, I want you to really let us know, because I feel people don't really want to really understand just how good Declan Rice is. How good is he, and how does he influence the way you guys play so much?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's, you know, if you can't say he's world class now, he's on the cusp of being world class for sure. Like, to see him week in, week out, the things he does, and he's been like this for years in terms of just how calm he is and the way he reads the game. But it's just the way he's getting better season upon season. The way he can just like pick a ball out from another player's feet and quickly turn it into an attack, and like it's insane how good he is. You know, we can be up against it completely on the back foot. All of a sudden, like everyone's panicking. He's there. He just takes the ball calmly, passes it, and moves. Like it's ridiculous. And the fact that he's 22 years old, he's already captain in the team. Obviously, Noble's not playing on a regular basis, so he's the captain, and he shows that leadership. And he's
big one's trolling. He knows the truth.
Fred, you know, honestly, they were. If I go back a few seasons ago, you would have seen quite a lot of Man United fans saying McTominay's better than Rice. You would have seen that. You would have seen that. This is the thing. Every other team compares their midfielders to Rice. We don't compare Rice to no one. It was Arsenal with Guendouzi, Newcastle with flipping Longstaff, Leeds with Phillips. Like, you know what I mean? All these teams, Man United with McSauce. Yeah.
Please don't call him that anymore. Please.
Damn, I have to. That's what you called him.
No, that was a name in irony because he lacks sauce. But at this point, he just doesn't deserve any nickname anymore.
I think the new one's McSoup.
I call him chicken nuggets because they're dry as hell. So boy.
But yeah, Mount with Chelsea, like every other team, so there's a reason, but people don't want to acknowledge how good he is. They want to say how better their midfielders are. But Rice at 22 years is already the measuring stick for young midfielders. So yeah, like, and this is the thing, like Moyes came out and said, like, look, there was a bargain to be had last summer for a Rice for 100 mil. That bargain's gone, mate. We ain't selling for no 100 mil. You'll have to pay more than that. And it comes down to the point of how good he is, but two, like if I've grown up in my childhood home, I don't want to sell my childhood home. It's where I love to live. It's a perfect area. Everything about it I love. And someone comes to me and they want to buy the house, but you have to offer me a price that's going to make me tempted to want to sell it. You can't offer me no market value for my house that I don't want to sell and think I'm just going to take it like I should take it. No, you have to pay over the odds, and that's where we're at. So people that, you know, a lot of these fans get, you know, temper tantrums and that because they want to bargain and they know that Rice would be a massive improvement in their midfield and want him on a bargain. You're not going to get it. You know?
How long does he have left on his contract?
I think he has 3 years. I think it's about 3 years. He hasn't been signing yet. The money that they're offering him, I don't think he's particularly happy with. I think he's looking at a point of, if I'm the most valuable player at the club, surely I should be one of the highest earners. Flipping Yarmolenko's our highest earner, so that tells you everything. But so I think if we do get this new investment come in the next few days, which we're hearing is going to come in, I think that could change a lot of things in the club, and that could maybe convince him to sign. And I think like a new deal. And if we was to win, like I think he just wants to see the club progress. He's 22 years. He ain't got to leave right now, to go and progress. He's captain. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he signs a new deal. But yeah, he's unbelievable. We got a lot of good young players coming up, and he's at the forefront of that.
I think he's not the same type of midfielder. I mean, they do have similar qualities, but one is better at passing than the other and all that sort of. But I feel like he could have the same sort of career trajectory as Michael Carrick, because Michael Carrick coming up as a youngster was not really appreciated. He went to Tottenham, which at the time West Ham, because it was sort of like a more of a yo-yo Premier League Division 1 at the time sort of club. Tottenham, even though Tottenham weren't very good, but they were a solid Premier League club. And he went there and made his name even more, and then also he went to United. I don't think Declan Rice needs to take that step because he's at a better club right now, a better West Ham than that West Ham back then. But I feel like he could have a great career. I think he could have a Carrick career, and Carrick had a wonderful career. He won everything. And he's still underappreciated, which is funny because Declan Rice seems like the kind of player for me that wouldn't get the respect he deserves until he's done, which is weird. But
yeah, he's one of them. He'll be the England captain one day. He will. I guarantee it.
As long as it's not Harry Maguire. But anyway, I was going to ask you as well. Is there anyone else that we are not giving enough praise to in your team so far? I mean, I saw a tweet that you obviously shared about Ben Johnson, but maybe him and maybe one more person. Is there someone else that we're not giving enough praise to and respect to?
Yeah, I mean, Ben Johnson, of course, is one. Like, we haven't conceded a goal when he's played. The stats are ridiculous, like for someone so young, and he's been in on the fringes of the first team, like over the past few seasons, been in and out. He got injured, and he's someone who I'm very excited about as a right back, and he can play left back as well. He's someone that like no one's really knowing his names at the moment, but he's going to be like a Declan Rice type thing where people are going to be talking about him, comparing their young right backs to him and things like that. So him for sure. And in terms of other people that no one's really talking about, I'd say Zuma is like really impressive. I think the way he's transformed our defense and just what he's brought to it, the experience, the quality, he's been unbelievable. And we don't. We've got so much depth in that position now. We just don't concede goals these days. I can't remember last time we've conceded a goal in so many games. So yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I have to really give it up to him. I think a lot more people should be talking about him. And the fact that he didn't get picked for France just because he signed for West Ham makes me sick.
Really did they just chance still pick Anthony Martial, but we're here for another video.
Yeah, I remember when he didn't pick Payet initially. And it weren't until he had to. He was forced. His hands was forced, but
yeah, he kept picking Andre Pierre Gignac for some reason as well, Pierre Andre Gignac is his name. Sorry, which again I don't understand. But anyway, let's finish up on this now. Crystal Palace, I believe, play Manchester City this weekend. Am I correct? Okay. Look, you have collected some great results against them in the past. Notably, the one where Andros Townsend scored one hell of a volley.
An absolute beauty, yeah.
Absolute beauty. But look, just want to ask you your thoughts ahead of the game and a score prediction if you can.
You know what? Fair play to PV because he's come out today in his press conference and said, listen, we need to be brave. This is unreal. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have said I would have wanted us to part the bus, but in the back of my mind, I just don't want us to take a battering. Right. You know, it doesn't help that obviously City lost midweek because mentality-wise, they're going to want to put things right. You know, I would have hoped they win midweek and then they could maybe relax a bit with the Manchester derby coming up the following week and stuff. We could take an absolute battering this week just on the back of the defeat. But PV's come out and said, listen, we need to be brave. So it seems like it might be a very open game, which, I mean, I think we can get at their defense because they're very attacking, but it could leave us a bit susceptible at the back. But if that's the way we're going and that's how we're going to play all season, as long as we pick up points along the way, because I'm not expecting much tomorrow, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If we are going to change the way we're playing, then change the way we're playing and not kind of pick and choose. sort of thing. So, but I have gone with 2-0 City.
Okay, 2-0 City. And Dan, Jack Grealish is not there anymore, so I think you can take advantage of this Aston Villa, who are looking atrocious, if I'm being completely honest at the moment. But you do play him on Sunday. Your thoughts ahead of that game as well, and a prediction if you can.
Yeah, it's one of them ones, isn't it? I'm always most nervous when I'm feeling most confident, which sounds completely backwards, but being confident makes me nervous because I feel like that's when West Ham come and are gonna shock me and we'll lose. It's when I'm not feeling confident, I feel West Ham can surprise me. But yeah, like on paper, we should be able to win that game. Our away record is crazy. I can't remember the last time we won on a lost an away game. I think it was last season. Like we ain't lost an away game since May or something like that. Our away record is crazy. Scoring goals, we've been banging in goals on a regular basis. Antonio is on fire. He's got like 11 goal contributions in 10 games.
Yep.
They've been leaking goals. Their form is not so good. I think they've lost their last couple of games or so. So, like I said, where we thrive away from home, I feel like we should be able to win this one comfortably. Obviously, they've got some good players, but they don't feel like they're missing that key. Like I said we said in the chat, I was saying about with Grealish. Obviously, I don't rate Grealish the way other people rate Grealish. He's a good player and that, but they built their whole system was designed to pass it to Grealish. Just give the ball to Grealish, let Grealish do his thing. And now that's gone away, and they're trying now to do what they should have done, is spread the responsibility around, but there's a hole there in that team. So yeah, with us, look, we're flying. It depends like how tired the certain players are, but we did give a few players a rest. But Antonio is going to be up for it, man. So yeah, I think we'll win. I'm gonna say 2-0 West Ham. Like I said, our defense have been on point. Zuma, Ogbonna there. They've been solid. So 2-0 West Ham. I'm really hoping that we do it. I'm on the Don Robbie thing, Rochalong thing on Sunday. So after last time I went on, it was the Man United game and we lost. So I'm needing to be on it when we win, and so I can celebrate. And because that was painful, that penalty miss. I need some good vibes on there. So yeah, West Ham, and like I said, I'm not a big fan of Aston Villa just by their philosophy of diving and that spread around the team. It wasn't even just Grealish; it was everywhere. And their fans defended it, and now all of a sudden Grealish is a diver in their eyes. I was really hoping he would miss the penalty and he'd be the reason that they went out. I mean, I'm realistically, I'm more happy that Benrahma got to score that winning penalty. But you would have heard from me seriously if he would have missed that penalty. And oh man, I was looking at that, and when he come on, that would have killed me if he scored the winner. But yeah,
absolutely,
we'll win. I think we'll win 2-0.
All right. Well, so we got 2-0 guesses. I'm hoping not that it really matters because Man United ain't gonna do a thing, but I'm hoping Palace able to do the job against Man City. At the same time, I really hope they don't, because next week could be really, really bad for us also. So I don't know how I'm feeling right now, but thanks to you guys, of course, for joining me. Thanks to everyone that listened and commented, dropped a like. Always like, comment, subscribe to this channel for Midfield, which will bring you more content, more interviews, hopefully in the pipeline as well, coming soon. So look out for that. As always, plugging yourselves. So, of course, Rich, please let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, Eagle Eye Football on YouTube and Twitter. Pretty much most of the socials, Eagle Eye Football. Should be able to find me. Yeah, predominantly Palace content. But on Sunday, I kind of like do a talk sport sort of thing where any fan can call in and talk about that weekend's fixture and how they think that they've done and stuff. So yeah, it's just nice to talk to other fans and stuff. And I thought that's the best way I can do it.
I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably going to get a call from me now that I know you do that.
Sunday 9 p.m. Sunday 9 p.m.
Sunday at 9 p.m. Everyone check out that as well. That's Eagle Eye Football. And of course, I put the link for the Twitter and the YouTube below in the description. And of course, Dan, please
At the Lawless on Twitter. That's my personal Twitter. West Ham Fan TV everywhere. If you want to come join us now, I'm about to go live on West Ham Fan TV to talk about the potential end of Gold and Sullivan's reign that could be in sight, with a potential investment with a view to take over the club completely from a Czech billionaire. So could be it. We could be finally free of these guys. West Ham, it could just be all rosy, but you never know. We'll see. So that's what we're doing now. So if you do want to stick with me, but we're on there next.
Awesome. I think I'll tune into that as well. And guys, like I said, the links are below to all their channels and their Twitters. This is another episode of Free Midfield. This is apparently not the top 6 at this point. The top 6 dead.
We'll get there at some point.
This will be the top 6 next season, yeah? Palace and West Ham, next season's top 6.
As long as it's not at my expense, I am good. And if it is at my expense, I will not be hosting this show next time. Have a good one, guys.